Alright, Jonathan, for your second video, we're looking to really focus on the rev phase of the throw. So the rev phase of the throw, if we look at the video on the right, we're looking to work that football down and away, and our arms are going to work equal opposite as we get into that rev position where we separate our hands from the football, and that's going to really work to generate momentum in our mechanics of our throw. So where you're building up momentum by proper movement on a proper path to help deliver that football with a lot more zip on it, and really you're creating arm velocity, which creates ball velocity. So that's the video on the right is your final throw of the day. The video on the left is your first throw of the day. So with that in mind, let's take a look at the video. I'm going to play it through for you so you can compare the two. Again, the left is your first throw of the day. The right is your last throw of the day. Okay, so you're going to see, if you look on the left, what you do here is you take your front hand and you're going to basically push the football down and back with your front hand. Scoop it up. Now you're going to pull that football, and you see the point of the ball right now working really almost up and down, and you can see that curl in the wrist that we had discussed as well. Right, that wrist, yeah, wrist curling on you there too. So this is where you're at to start, and then we look on the right hand side. While we do not have it perfected, your path is a little better. Okay, now we want to utilize, if you look on the left here, you are working for sure, you're working equal opposite. Okay, you're separating. Now if you notice, there's almost a pause where you rev and then go. We want to create this really like a smooth path where you're kind of separating down, back, and then immediately getting into that race and squeeze. So here to squeeze. So it's going to be rev and then race, squeeze as really almost one movement, whereas you almost have rev as one, and then you're trying to throw the ball with all arms still. Okay, so we're going to work on this, but the idea here is, again, we're creating momentum. Okay, now where you get to with your elbow is really good spot. This is our elbow extension. You are not letting that elbow start to extend until it has driven towards your target as close as it can be. That is exactly what you want. The way that you can see your whole face there, because your arm is beyond your face, that's a good thing. That means you're getting your elbow through pop position and working your way towards your target to help generate the most consistency on that release. So that's a real positive thing. Okay, but coming back to your rev and race and squeeze, we want to really utilize that squeeze on the front side. Okay, so as you rev, now we want to take that elbow and you want to really flip your hand palm to the sky and now bring that elbow right back to the front side of your body. You can see how right now you've done your rev, but now we're not really using our squeeze. So your elbow is out away from your body right now. We want to see that elbow driving in. We want to see that squeeze take place. That's really going to help you then race. Okay? So rev, race, squeeze. That's good stuff. Rev, race, squeeze. Okay? So think about that as one fluid movement, and that's going to help generate much more speed on the movement. Right now you're basically getting yourself to there, and it becomes all arm throwing that football. The rev, if we can get rev and immediately transition right into our race combination with rev and squeeze, now we're going to create a lot more speed on our arms. Okay? But overall, you are starting to work on the pathway. Now we want to start to learn how to turn up the speed on the pathway. Rev, race, squeeze. Okay, so essentially what you're doing on the right is only a slight improvement from what you're doing on the left, because essentially you're getting the ball to that, what we call the vertical L. If I look on the left, vertical L. On the right, vertical L. And you're essentially getting there and throwing from there. We want to throw from the start, right from rev. I want that rev to be the speed at which I throw. I want to really separate, sorry, wrong line, separate with speed and rev and then immediately transition. Again, also combining the front side with your rev right into your squeeze. Put those two things together, and that's where you get the speed and the snap and the drive. of your throwing motion with your upper body. Okay, and again on the right, we can also look at that wrist. You want to work that pre-pass. You want to work the point of that football away from your body on a 45 to help load that wrist, because you watch that wrist as you come through. So you're turning the football here. We're turning that ball. That's the wrist becoming loose. So now that wrist is not loaded, and you have to slide the hand under the football and slash in order to make that spiral the way that you want. We want to think about being behind the football rather than on top of it with our hand, or having to slice underneath of it. Okay? So there's our rev, race, squeeze stuff.